Silent Hill news coming this week, Mad Max developer fires back at director George Miller, Team Asobi gives clues to that rumored Astro game, new Resident Evil remake rumors and more. Let's get to the PlayStation news. We are finally getting Silent Hill news this week, but no, Sony has not announced a new State of Play or showcase yet. Instead, what we have here is the Silent Hill official account inviting everyone for a new Silent Hill transmission this Thursday, May 30 at 4 PM Pacific. They said they will share game updates, a deeper look at the film, and new merch. Bloober Team also shared the invite, so it's official, we're finally getting some Silent Hill 2 remake news, likely including a release date as the game has been rated in almost all regions, stores have been getting new marketing materials, and pre-orders have started going live on Amazon. What's weird to me is that this is not part of Sony's event, and last month Bloober Team said during an earnings call that Konami would reveal the release date and platform soon, despite the game already being announced for PS5 and PC back in 2022. Maybe it was just a mistake and there's a chance the game is part of both the Silent Hill transmission and the State of Play, but it could also not be exclusive anymore. We'll have to wait and see. Besides that, we could also see more on Silent Hill F, Townfall, and the Return to Silent Hill movie, adapting the second game, releasing later this year. Are you looking forward to the Silent Hill 2 remake? Sound off in the comments. Moving on, last week director George Miller gave some updates regarding the Mad Max game during the red carpet premiere of Furiosa, but he wasn't too happy with how the game turned out in 2015. Miller said to Gaming Bible that the game wasn't as good as he wanted it to be, and that they provided all the material for the game to be made. But now Avalanche founder and Just Cause creator Christopher Sundberg has fired back at Miller on Twitter, saying that his comments are complete nonsense and just show complete arrogance. Sundberg goes on, "They did everything they could to make this a complete linear game after having signed up with a developer of open world games. After the first year of development, they realized that they had forced us to make a linear experience rather than the open world game we pitched. This change in mid-development made Avalanche throw away a year of work." Larian Studios publishing director Michael Dowd also jumped into the Twitter conversation, saying the developer didn't have access to the 2015 movie while making the game, like story, assets, and creative. Ultimately, George Miller also said in the interview that he would want Hideo Kojima to work on a future Mad Max game, and Sundberg also agrees that he would probably make an awesome but totally different game. But despite that, this highlights the lack of understanding by director George Miller on the production of the game tied to his IP, and throwing developers under the bus is just disappointing. Who knows if Kojima and George Miller will work on a Mad Max game, but in the meantime the movie director will appear in the upcoming Death Stranding 2. Did you play the 2015 Mad Max game? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments. Before talking about some interesting Resident Evil rumors, here are some quick gaming stories that you need to know. Team Asobi might have added fuel to the speculation of a new Astro game for PS5, with a tweet yesterday showing a gif of Astro at the PlayStation Home logo, saying, "Honey, I'm home." The game could be revealed at the upcoming Sony event, whenever they decide to announce it. Stellar Blade is now part of PlayStation Rewards and you can get the game quote-unquote for free if you have 17,500 points, equivalent to having spent over $1,700 on the PlayStation Store, but you can also get free points by completing different quests each month. The game is still $70 whether in points or money, so it's still better to cash your points into PSN credit vouchers and get the game cheaper. After 3 years since revealing the Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake, Square Enix has released a new trailer for the game celebrating Dragon Quest Day, coming out for PS5, Xbox Series, Nintendo Switch, and PC at some point. It's a very brief trailer and it's not exactly for Dragon Quest III, so maybe the whole trilogy is being remastered. Dragon Quest XII was not part of the celebration, with creator Yuji Horii saying he will do his best to ensure the game is worthy of the work of creator Akira Toriyama and composer Koichi Sugiyama, who passed away. Larian Studios has given a disappointing update on the physical deluxe edition for Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5 for North America, as it has been hit with production issues. They now expect the game to ship around July. Again, it only affects PS5 copies in North America, as other regions have shipped or are being delivered, and Xbox copies are now shipping. Now moving into the Resident Evil rumors, there's a bit of bad news on Resident Evil 9, And it appears there's not a new Resident Evil 1 remake in the works, but there's another one that might make fans happy. This is from leaker Dos Golem, who sometimes gets things right and sometimes doesn't, so take it with a grain of salt. Talking about Resident Evil 9, they said that you should wipe your expectations about the game being announced this summer, as it seems that the reveal is further away, with Capcom aiming for a late 2025-2026 launch window. I was hoping for a Resident Evil 9 early 2025 launch, but it appears the delay affected it a bit more, so in that case I say we could probably get a reveal late this year or early next. Regarding the Resident Evil 1 remake rumors, Dos Golem said these are BS and there's no remake for that in development, and work has yet to start on a Resident Evil 5 remake despite the thesis on Resident Evil 4. However, there may be Code Veronica and Resident Evil 0 remakes in the works, according to many sources behind the scenes, and it's a rumor that has been going for over a year. I would personally be happy with either of the 3 remakes. I think making a new remake for the first game 30 years after the original and 24 years after the remake makes sense to introduce new people to the series and sell more copies of the RE2, 3 and 4 remakes afterward. Code Veronica has a lot of potential to improve the original formula further with all the stuff from the Resident Evil 2 and 4 remakes, plus being a darker setting with classic zombies is definitely my favorite of the 3 options. And it could help bridge the new narrative between 4 and 5 remakes. Then Resident Evil 0, which is probably overlooked by fans, could help Capcom experiment with the RE engine, whether they keep it a single player game or they make it a co-op game. It also has some inconsistencies in the story of the first game that they could fix here. But what Resident Evil game would you like Capcom to work on next? Let me know your thoughts about that and any of this news in the comments below. If you want more PlayStation and gaming news, remember to subscribe and hit the bell to never miss an episode. You can also check out the previous video where we talk about the new Astro PS5 game rumors, Black Ops 6 is still getting a last-gen version, the next Doom game coming to PS5 and more. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you on the next one.